in today's show. It's another mock draft. This time it's for a 12-team points league mock draft. Michael Bolton.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter as always at redrock_bball and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today it is a mock draft. It's a 12-team mock draft points league using the standard Yahoo default points settings. So all of you guys calling out for points leagues mock draft, this is it. This is your points league mock draft. So we're doing it today using that standard scoring. If your league uses a different scoring, I can't help you. I can't do a points league for every, or a points league mock draft for every possible permutation of scoring settings. But you can check out the projections for that on basketballmonster.com. Just become a member, sign up, put your settings in, and you'll see how all those projections look. Don't forget, shows across the weekend on breakouts and flyers, and ADP battle with Dan Besbris. This week we've got ADP battles coming with Alex Reclean and with Jared Johnson of RotoWire and Roto World, respectively. We've got a 14-team league mock draft, a 20-team mock draft. We've also got another 12-team mock draft. Lots of stuff happening this week. A live AMA happening on Wednesday as well. And a quick reminder that today's show is brought to you by Built Bar. Go to BuiltBar.com, use the promo code LOCKEDON, and you'll get 20% off your next order. So we're just getting ready, waiting for this mock draft to kick off. So we'll be back in a sec and then get ready for this mock draft to go. All right, let's get straight into this draft now. As we go to the first pick, I'm picking at number 11 here. We've got Path's Choice picking at 1, and Anthony Davis goes. This is a default Yahoo points league, remember? So seeing Davis go at number 1 is definitely a little bit surprising to me. I've got Giannis and Doncic as the top two guys there. Davis down at number 4. So Sug here at number 3. Giannis does go at number 2, by the way.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Jimmy Harden goes at 3, and then Luka Doncic at 4. So that's the top 4 that I'd have, except the order is a little bit off. So that's interesting. It's an interesting way to start. Now, I'm all the way down at 11 here. I'm hoping that I can get Dame Lillard to fall to me. I don't think I will, just because... And remember, ADPs in points leagues, the ADP that they show is and the X rank is based on category leagues. So you might be able to get some bargains here. Karl Anthony Towns goes at 5. Damian Lillard goes at 6. It's Aiden's pick here at number 7. He goes with Trae Young. Am I going to be left with Steph Curry? Russell Westbrook is probably who I'm going to pick, to be honest, because he is really, really going to be strong in a points league format. MSRF takes Steph Curry. That was at number 8. At number 9, we've got Bangu coming up. LeBron, Westbrook, Jokic. These are all the guys that I'm looking to target with these next couple of picks. I think ideally to me, it is going to be Russ with my selection, which will throw people off for sure, but you got to understand the format that you're in. You got to understand that Russell Westbrook in a points league is a significantly better option than what he is in a category league, in my opinion. And whoever this is just letting that clock run all the way down. All right, Bangu. There you go. Nikola Jokic, Big Chungus.
Big Chungus, Big Chungus, Big Chungus.
And then we're all almost at my pick. So I'm probably going to get Westbrook. It's Westbrook or LeBron for me, but I'm a little worried about LeBron missing games. Although you hear this shit all the time, and LeBron just literally never does it. Is it, of course, a little bit different this season? But yeah, I'm still a little concerned with it. Might just throw Russ into my queue. So who just went? Jason Tatum went at number 10. And that means I am going to go all the way down and take Russell Westbrook. Westbrook may miss back-to-backs. I don't know that he will for sure, but I feel pretty good about it. Look, the other options I had there were him. It was Embiid, it was LeBron, and they're all and Kawhi. They were my top 4 on the board there. So there's risk in all of those guys. So I'm taking Westbrook at number 11, and then LeBron goes to round out the first round.
LeBron James.
McGen takes LeBron, and that is the end of the first round. So I'm relatively happy to get Russ, who on a per-game basis I had at number 8. I had LeBron at number 6, but I just think that Westbrook's probably more likely to outperform LeBron. They're so close in the projections. I could have gone with LeBron. I just really wanted Russ at that stage. Devin Booker goes next at the start of round 2. Really strong pick there. Embiid and Kawhi still hanging around. They should start to go here. I say they should start to go, and it's my selection. So do I do it? Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to take Joel, the big fella, Embiid. I'm happy to get him at number 14 as well. I'm not worried about resting from him. I'm more worried about injuries from Embiid. That has been the concern more for him rather than sitting out back-to-backs. And I do have some definite risks there with Westbrook and Embiid. At number 14, that was Embiid. At number 15, it was Bam Adebayo.
Bam, 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 bam.
Remember, guys, when you're drafting in a points league, there's no stacking. There's no team builds. There's nothing. Who do you think is going to project to score the most points? Balance that with your positional need to a degree, but even then, that positional need stuff only really comes in towards the end of a draft. And also, games played and injury risk and pre-existing injuries. That's the sort of stuff you should be looking at. Ben Simmons goes at number 16. Simmons is a better points league guy than a category guy, although in a category league, he could be in this similar range because of his punt free throw range. I've got Kawhi and Shea as my next 2 guys, and there goes the fun guy to MSRF.
I'm a fun guy.
At number 17. Kawhi last year, even in total value, I think was like the 10th ranked player, despite the games missed. So I think some of his misses do get a little bit overrated, or a little bit over-exaggerated, perhaps. Aiden took Trae Young in round 1. One guy that I'm really going to be looking at coming back here is De'Aaron Foxy Fox, who gets a real boost in points leagues. I thought he looked great in the preseason game the other day. He's a big target of mine coming back. If I can get him there at round 3, I probably won't, to be fair. Brad Beal goes at number 18. Who's the next pickup? We've got Taco Tuesday. All right, and then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander goes at number 19. Really strong spot there for Shea to go. So pretty happy with him going in that area. I thought Shea and the Thunder in general looked pretty interesting in that game yesterday. We saw that big performance from Teo Maledon. We saw Alexei Pokusevski took Alexei Pokusevski took some big threes. We saw some interesting performances, I thought, from that Thunder squad. Isaiah Roby actually looked pretty exciting as well. So some interesting stuff there. Big Swezzy goes with Andre Drummond to pair with Karl Anthony Towns. The only risk I think we have with Drummond is games missed. Not games missed, or if they do rest him, which I'm not. It's going to be a problem for everybody, like literally everybody. And the trade, that's what I'm trying to say. The trade is more of the problem. Kevin Durant goes to McBuckets. Durant not as good in a points league as he is in a categories league. I think it might be a little bit early for a guy that probably is going to sit back-to-backs. We are about an hour away or 2 hours away as we're recording this from Durant's Brooklyn debut. So that's going to be pretty exciting to see how he looks. But I still think he's going to have some games missed. Sugg takes Kyrie Irving to pair with James Harden. The more I think about it, I don't think Harden's getting traded to Brooklyn. So I'm not sure that's going to be such a negative there towards... it's going to be such a negative towards their combined values if they do play together. I just don't see that happening. I don't know. The Harden situation, obviously, is really strange. Z-Mark took Yanni with his first pick at number 2, and he's back at number 23 here. So I think that he takes Jim Butler at that spot. Yeah, is Butler the right pick there? There are other guys that I prefer, but he's not far off, so I don't think you can really argue that one too much. And then it's Path, who took Anthony Davis at number 1. He's looking to pair that up there to finish off round 2. Best guys around here to me, Fox, Nurkic, Zion, and Sabonis. Zion really gets a big boost in this default Yahoo Points League format. So we'll see. We'll see how that ends up going and where he ends up going. Come on, mate, make some picks. And it is Paul George, which in a category league would be a steal. In a points league, I think it's maybe a little bit early. All right, so now we're back to... Yeah, that's 2 rounds done. Still some good players. And the problem here is that the ADP and the rank is tailored to category league. So the guys that I've got at the top of my board, like their ADPs are 40, 30, 50, 48. But this is the area to get them. Now, Path makes the wise choice and takes Zion. Z-Mark takes Yusuf Nurkic. They were 2 of the top 4 left on my board. So they're really solid picks around this area. And this is the right spot for Zion. If you wanted to take him in the beginning of or the end of round 2, it's no worries. DeAndre Ayton goes here. That's another solid pick. Everyone here really, according to how I see things, and my bucket's taking De'Aaron Fox. That was the guy that I wanted. So he's obviously not coming back to me. These are all strong points leagues picks. I don't really have too many arguments with many of these selections. I mentioned a couple that I wasn't quite on board with before, but there's nothing really that's looking outrageous in terms of these guys that have gone off the board. I think maybe Paul George was a bit early, maybe Butler was a bit early, maybe Durant was a bit early, but otherwise there's not a huge amount to complain about. I'm probably going to be targeting Sabonis if he gets back to me. Siakam in the mix, Don Mitchell, Ja Morant, they're all the guys that was sort of, I think we'll see come off the board here in this little run through. Okay. Johnny Collins, the Baptist, goes to Big Swezzy. Collins looked pretty good in the first Hawks preseason game. It's hard to... my concern is not that he's not a good player, because he is. And his ability to generate stats is huge. It's just about playing time and the position of those playing time. That playing time, is it at center or is it at power forward? I think that's, to me, that is the concern with Collins, not anything else. Nikola Vucevic goes at number 30. That's boring as shit, but it's really solid. Mo Bamba isn't taking those minutes away. Don Mitchell goes with the next pick.
He's Don. He's good.
MSRF is your next one. He took Steph and he took Kawhi with his first 2 picks. Interestingly, in my per-game projections, I've got Porzingis up next.
Porzingis.
But the injury risk is obviously huge. Pascal Siakam goes at pick 31, and now it's Bangu's term. Sabonis is the guy that I'm just going to throw him into my queue, because that is who I do want with this next pick, or Gobert or Morant. Bangu just loves letting that timer run down. He's really stressing about these picks. Really got to make the right one. Let's go, Bangu. Make a pick. Really stressing about it. Ja Morant, solid. Well, he took the time and he made the right pick. So I think Gobert, Sabonis, Levine. I want one of those 3 guys. Hopefully it is Domas that falls down to me here. Crooklyn's finest, Jason Tatum and Bam Adebayo with his first 2 selections. Let's see what he do. This is bad form, but it's the same guy making the selection. He telegraphed his pick in the chat before making the pick, and it was the big Frenchman, Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
So that leaves Domantas Sabonis for me. Happy to take him there. I think he's probably a top 30 guy in a points league, so to get him at 35, I'm pretty happy with that. Gobert at 34, Morant at 33, Siakam at 32. And then McGen takes Zach LaVine with his selection. That would have been my next one. And I've got D'Angelo Russell, Kyle Lowry, and DeMar DeRozan coming up there. I would like D'Lo. I'll put Lowry in there. Lowry's old, obviously. So I'm a little worried about him and injuries. So I might look... I think Russell and DeRozan. I know DeRozan's not young, but he's younger than Lowry. So Brandon Ingram goes. Now that feels a little early. I think there are other guys I'd rather ahead of him, and that's going to give me the option to take D'Angelo Russell. So I'm going to do that with that selection. All right, so that gives me D'Angelo Russell. So that was at 38. 37 was Ingram. I think Ingram's probably a guy that sits outside the top 40 in most cases. I'm happy with my team so far. Embiid, Westbrook, Sabonis, and D'Angelo Russell. We've got Crooklyn's finest again. I wonder if he's going to just announce it to the chat before he actually makes the pick. All right, so top of my board. Now, Porzingis is the interesting one here. Like, where do we draft KP? Because, again, he is like a second-round talent. But we know he's going to miss some time. It's going to be a slow ramp-up. I think he should go off the board in this round. And if he doesn't, I would definitely consider him when he comes back to me in round 5. Fred VanVleet goes, at number 39. And then Bangu takes the Crucifix Christian Wood at number 40. Strong picks, both of those. I think Porzingis here probably should be a guy that we look at in this round, but if he falls to me, do I pair him with Westbrook and Embiid with their injury risks? Probably not. MSRF takes Kyle Lowry at 41. Now it's Aiden, who has had Trae Young, Bradley Beal, and Don Mitchell with his first couple of selections. So many moving parts here with the mock draft going on. Jaylen Brown goes to Aiden at number 43, followed by DeMar DeRozan. 42 for Jaylen Brown. DeMar DeRozan goes at number 43. I might tell you about Built Bar, because Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar that you can find. 6 new flavors for Built Bar: caramel brownie, cookies and cream, cherry barcia, lemon almond cheesecake, carrot cake, and apple almond crisp. They're covered in 100% chocolate, and they are soft and easy to chew. If you're looking to lose weight or maintain weight, these are the protein bars that you need, because they taste great and they're good for you. Low calorie, low sugar, high protein, and high fiber, and great for a keto diet. Go to BuiltBar.com and use the promo code LOCKEDON and you'll get 20% off your next order. The promo code is LOCKEDON for 20% off at BuiltBar.com. At number 44, the headmaster Jamal Murray went to Big Swezzy, and then LaMarcus Aldridge, who took 10 three-pointers in the preseason game. He said he's going to shoot more threes. That was an outrageous amount. That could be very, very interesting for his value. After him, it's 46 to Chris Paul. It's 47 to Chris Middleton. And then we are one selection away from the end of round 4. People know that I'm not a fan of points leagues, really. It's a great way of getting people who don't know about basketball or the NBA or fantasy into leagues. But in terms of strategy, there just really isn't any. And I know people who play points league will argue, man, it's so much more fun. It's better to have a single number. You can have that opinion. I just don't agree with it. But there are people who play it, and I think someone pointed this out to me the other day, that the guys who are playing, or actually, before we do that, Gordon Hayward goes at number 48, and then the double royal, Julius Randle. Now, I do have to explain that nickname, because I was talking about him the other day, and a shout out to Pete, who is constantly just giving me shit on Twitter. So thank you, Pete. And he called Julius Randle the Spin Doctor, which made me laugh a lot. It's a great nickname for a bloke who's constantly spinning, the Spin Doctor. But I just took it a step further. Went, okay, Spin Doctor. That's a band, the Spin Doctors. What's that song? It's called Two Princes, which is the sound drop I just played. But let's just go a step further. This is how Aussie nicknames work. So we go from the Spin Doctor to Two Princes. So instead of Two Princes, I'll just call him the Double Royal. And I think that is completely ambiguous. And if you say it, no one knows what it means. But Julius Randle, the Double Royal. CJ McCollum goes after him at 50. Michael Porter Jr. at 51. Tobias Harris at 52. These are all picks right in that area where they should go. We're looking at guys like John Wall, Aaron Gordon, Porzingis still around, obviously. Malcolm Brogdon, DeJounte Murray, Kobe White. This is probably the next bunch of guys. I'm not willing. I've got Porzingis and Jaren Jackson in this mix as well. I'm not willing to take them with my next pick because of the Embiid-Westbrook pairing that I started things off with. You could make the argument, and I'm getting a little bit more swayed towards this, to be honest, is that I've got these high-risk injury guys. Maybe I just go all in and take more of these guys that slide due to injury risks, and if it pans out, then you're looking good. But the problem is that you're never going to have all of them pan out. So you're going to put yourself... the likelihood of having 2 guys pan out versus 4 injury-prone guys pan out is much higher. So in general, I lean towards that way. But you could make the argument, well, I've taken risks with these guys. Let's just take the risk, and I'm either going to finish first or I'm going to finish last. And I can understand that mentality. It is a lot harder to recover from if that does end up happening. Aaron Gordon goes at 53 to Big Swezzy. I think Aaron Gordon's playmaking is real. He had another 6 assists in the preseason game. We'll see how the Magic go in today's game against the Hawks. But this is what happened at the end of last season for Gordo, and it's happening again now. Really, really interesting development. There goes Porzingis. At number 55. Again, I think this is the right spot. This is the second round guy when healthy, but you're going to have zeros for maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks. I think it's the right spot for Porzingis there. Aiden doesn't have any big men. He's got Trae, Beal, Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, and then he goes with Jonas Valanciunas, and then MSRF goes with Blake Griffin, who, let's be fair, Blake Griffin looked really good the other night. He was passing up. Now, his shot was horrible, and the injury risk is, it's not that he's not going to be good when he plays, although when he did play last year, he was terrible. It's just how much is he going to play? But I don't mind that pick there for Blake. This is a real injury-prone area. We got Porzingis and Griffin just went. Jaren Jackson's in that mix. John Wall's in that mix coming up, and I will absolutely are absolutely in this mix. DeJounte Murray goes with Bangu there at number 57. Absolutely, I think the right area for him. Kobe White is someone I'm going to throw onto. I know Kobe White's ADP and rank is a lot lower, but yeah, I'm big on him. And Drew Holiday is going to be the next guy that I am considering with that selection. Well, Drew just goes next at number 58, so that puts me up. All right, John Wall, do I take the back-to-back risk with him? I probably don't. And Malcolm Brogdon's another one on my list here who has some injury concerns. So let's go with Kobe White, who I thought looked pretty good for the Bulls despite how horrendous they looked. And I think he had 6 assists in his limited minutes too, which is part of the issue why you're a little bit down on him is because of some of the playmaking. But that was impressive to see those numbers come up. So that gives me another point guard on that team, but Russell does have dual eligibility, as does Sabonis and Embiid. Actually, all of my players, apart from Westbrook, have dual eligibility. I do need a small forward, and I was going to say I need another center, but Embiid and Sabonis are my 2 centers already. And then it goes the tank, Tom Bryant, to finish off the round. So Tom Bryant goes at the end of round 5. Really excited to see what Bryant can do. Is it a little bit early for him? Perhaps, but I don't think it's... Well, actually, you know what? Maybe it is a little bit early. I've got him projected way down in round 8, but that's only because I'm not sure about the minutes. If he plays 32 minutes, then this is absolutely fine for Tom Bryant. Andy Wiggins goes next at pick number 61. You might think it's early because it is, but in a points league, it's nowhere near as outrageous as what it would be in a category league. He's probably a top 70 player, Wiggo, in a points league versus a category league. So I don't think there's too much wrong with that one. It's my pick again. Do I take the John Wall risk? Do I take Hassan Whiteside? Do I take Boogie Cousins? Man, there's a lot of injury guys here. Do I take Eric Bledsoe? No, let's just take Brogo, I think, here. Just a lot of interesting value type guys in this area. Wall, Cousins, Jackson, Draymond in this mix as well, but I do end up going with Malcolm Brogdon in the end. John Wall's the one that's really intriguing me here. Lonzo Ball goes to Crooklyn's finest. I would not have Lonzo in this area. I think that's probably about 20 spots too high, while Bangu goes with John Wall. That's really good. I thought John Wall looked really strong in his debut. There is going to be the games played issue and risks associated with that, but that is something I guess we'll need to pay attention to. Sorry for that little flash of a screen you saw come up. Hassan Whiteside. The world. Yep. I don't know if he's going to start or not, but even in limited minutes, this is the right area for Hassan Whiteside. Kelly Oubre goes as well. Probably a little bit early for Oubre, but I'm not completely against that. In fact, most of these picks, outside of a handful, which I haven't loved, like maybe the Lonzo Ball pick, maybe the Tom Bryant pick, everything else has felt sort of about the right area. We're up to number 67 now. Oubre went at 66. Whiteside went at 65. We're up at number 66 now with Taco Tuesday picking. He had Lillard, Shea, Vucevic, DeRozan, and Porzingis. Jaren Jackson's name is here, obviously, but the injury risk is a problem. Wendell Carter Jr. goes. Yeah, I think that's about the right area here for him. I wonder who's going to take that flyer on Boogie Cousins. Someone's going to do it. I don't know when or where they're going to do it, but someone is going to do it coming up. And it probably, you know what? If it gets back to me in round 7, that risk... Do I take... Yeah, look, that's what I don't know. That's why I'm not loving what I did with those first 2 picks, just because... when that value starts to fall with a guy like Boogie later on, I'm a little bit more cautious in going for it. Eric Bledsoe goes there at number 68. Totally fine. I think it's absolutely the right area. Another guy who's going to get a big bump in points leagues, I think, is Marvin Bagley, who should start to get looked at coming up really, really soon here. Maybe he's the guy that I grab with my selection if it gets back around. We're still a long way away. McBucket's really savouring pick number 69 here.
Giggity!
Come on, mate. Make a pick. Let's smash through this points league draft. Which direction are you going? I'm going to have a look. How do I value Jaren Jackson, who's comfortably sitting at the top of my board on a per-game basis, where it looks like he's back MLK Day, so middle of January. Look, he's probably more a guy to pick in the 80s, I would say. DeMarcus Cousins goes there, so that decision's out of my hand. He goes at 69. Draymond goes at number 70. Fine for Draymond. As much as we think he's not that good in a points league, he's not as good as in a category league, but this is the right area. Al Horford, Marcus Smart, they should start being discussed soon. Kevin Love goes at number 71. And again, I think I had him at 72, so it's right around this area. He averaged 34 fantasy points per game last year, and then it was OG Anunoby.
But what about scarves?
OG.
Balenciaga
Stop,
ones.
OG. You better stop, OG.
Anunoby goes at 72, Marcus Smart at 73. I think that's too high for Anunoby, although he looked pretty good in that last game, in the preseason game for the Raptors. There was no Kyle Lowry, but he looked good. But in a points league, unless we're just seeing this massive usage spike, I don't love it. Marcus Smart goes, and then Tony Warren Jr. at 73. He's dealing with plantar fasciitis. He's week to week. That is a troublesome diagnosis for him. Is he going to miss the start of the season? I would expect yes. He's had some troubling concussion issues and ankle injuries in the past. They've just taken forever to heal. That could be a problem here for Tony. I am absolutely worried about what happens with him at this area. On a per-game basis, it's probably even just a little bit early as well, but this injury absolutely has me shit scared with him. We know his teammate Domantas Sabonis had that similar issue. Clint Capella had a similar issue. It cost him a lot of time. I think Warren, we're going to see out for a little bit of time, personally. Sug takes Steve Adams, which is absolutely the right area to grab him at number 74. Love that for Steve. Marvin Bagley is a name that I am going to throw onto my list, because he's got a rank of 98 here. I don't know how the Kings are going to run their front court, but I'm willing to take a chance on him. Steven Adams goes, as I said, and then the Padawan Colin Sexton, who didn't play in the first preseason game, and it let guys like Chetty Osman and Isaac Okoro really flash some of their offensive capabilities. Big Swezzy at number 75. Big Swezzy. Although I know Big Swezzy's not actually the guy's team name, because Big Swezzy didn't show up for the draft. Shout out to you, for not coming to the draft. Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. goes. Yeah, the injury worry you have there. Now, his team is pretty robust. Towns, Drummond, Collins, the headmaster, Aaron Gordon, Eric Bledsoe. So taking that risk in round 7 is fine when he could be a round 5 player. But, of course, he's going to miss some time to begin the season. Taco Tuesday. What are you doing, mate? I think we've got to look at Al Horford. I like Alfred Payton in this area. I like Markelle Fultz coming up as well. If I have a look at how my team looks, I do need a small forward player. I just need forwards in general. So I probably need to start looking at some of those guys, and that's why I'd like Bagley as a forward. Darius Bazley is going to come into consideration. Victor Oladipo, Rowan Barrett Jr. as well. Bud Hield goes off. I think that's about fine. Maybe it's marginally early for Bud, but I don't dislike that. Lauri Markkanen goes at number 79. Markkanen, I thought, looked really good in the preseason debut for the Bulls, and a real coach might be able to get him to play to a decent enough level. In fact, his defensive numbers look significantly better. Of course, it's one game and it's the preseason, but at least gives us a little bit of hope. Not that you should adjust all your expectations based on that for Lauri Markkanen. MSRF. Here, I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to take Bagley? Do I want to take Barrett? Barrett was shithouse, but he is a good points league player. He was terrible, though. Maximum Derek White goes.
Maximum Derek.
3 picks away from mine. And I'm going to say, look, the Bagley ADP doesn't make sense to take him at this spot, but we're in a points league, so just be aware of the differences here. Robert Covington, not a good points league player. I think he's barely top 100. I would not have taken him there in that area, and it is important to be able to understand your differences in formats. I would not have selected him here. I think I am going to go with Bagley with my next pick, and then which way do I go after that? LaMelo Ball's in play for me. Clint Capella just goes off the board there. All right, let's go and take Marv Bagley. which again, it feels early, but he is a guy that is absolutely suited to points leagues. And I'm not just going to wait on him. You probably could in most formats, but I think majority of these guys are using my projections anyway. Miles Turner goes off. That's the right area for him as well. All right, I do need to get myself a small forward. Let's just put Darius on the list. Not that I'm necessarily going to draft him there. Let's put Rowan Barrett, or do we put Alfred Payton? Let's put Barrett. I think Barrett's the guy that we want here, just because of the volume that he's going to play at, the usage. Who just went? Victor Oladipo went. Yeah, he was another one that was in my sights there. So let's take RJ Barrett. Again, top 100 points league player in my mind, Barrett, but nowhere near that in a category league. Maybe not even draftable in a categories league, to be fair, given his just disappointing limits in his, his percentages and his defensive numbers. So Barrett goes there at number 85, Crooklyn's finest, as we start round 8. All right. Who is up? Al Horford goes to Crooklyn's finest. That is the right pick. I think it's a very strong spot to get Horf. I'm pretty excited to see what Horford can do this season. I think that's the right area for him. Next up is Bang Goo, making his pick. Alfred Payton, Markelle Fultz, LaMelo Ball, Darius Bazley are my next 4 guys in terms of projections at this stage. You could throw PJ Washington, Mike Conley in that mix. You could throw Jeremy Grant. How good did Jeremy Grant look in that first game? Absolutely shithouse. I thought that signing might get ugly. He'll be better than that, though. Look, don't panic too much. And he's still going to get opportunities, but far out. That's what happens when you push a number 5 offensive option into a number 1 offensive option role. They can't do it. And that is why that was a horrible move from Detroit and a stupid move from Jeremy Grant. But he gets his money, although he could have got his money somewhere else. Markelle Fultz, really good pick there from MSRF at number 89. I'm so in on Fultz this year. If he ended up being a top 50 player, I would not be surprised. Bojan Bogdanovic goes. Maybe a little bit early. I think there's probably about 15 guys or so I would have had ahead of Bojan. And then LaMelo Ball goes. LaMelo didn't score. He missed all of his shots on his first preseason game. But the passing was unbelievable. He got 10 boards. He's going to be that player that if the scoring ever comes in, then the value is unbelievable. But he's going to put up numbers in other categories. And that is evident, obviously, from that first game. So really excited about what LaMelo Ball can bring. Picking him at number 90, I think is really good value. I wonder who's going to bite the bullet here and take Alfred Payton, who is probably the right choice here for most of these teams. If I look at my squad, have I filled up my act? Yeah, probably still need a forward. I definitely still need a forward to fill out my active spots or to fill out my positional spots before I go into my utilities. Mike Conley goes there at number 40. No, not number 40. I was looking at the countdown clock. At number 92. Yep, really, really solid pick to get Mike Conley there. I'm doing an AMA on Reddit today, and everything's not working, so I'm trying to sort that out. All right. Who is up next? After Bojan, it was Mike Conley, Jeremy Grant goes. Mitch Robinson goes.
And Mitch Robinson says, I'll take it from here.
And then Zmark takes Kemba Walker, which, of course, we know the concerns with Kemba, but that is, I think that's some decent enough value there for Kemba Walker at that spot. Although I am so worried about how he's going to look and how long it's going to take him to get back, and just how aggressive he's going to be, I guess. Jarrett Allen goes there. I cannot get behind Jarrett Allen at that spot. I love Jarrett Allen. I think he's really good. But the Nets don't. They started DeAndre Jordan, or they're going to start DeAndre Jordan again here in this preseason game today. They just don't value him, and there is much more value left on the board there. After Jarrett Allen, he goes with McCall Bridges, who, again, is a much better category league player than he is a points league guy. Just think there are better guys around you could have selected here. So not in love with those picks. Devontae Graham goes, then Darius Bazley goes. The Bazley snipe. It always happens to me. So I'm probably looking at PJ Washington. I think Mason Plumlee also is another option for us coming out. Alfred Payton goes, McBuckets. That's a really strong pick from you. Mason Plumlee is going to get minutes. They're not going to start Jahlil Okafor. Surely not. Isaiah Stewart's far from ready. I think Plumlee's going to be that guy there in Detroit. And not that he's the greatest option, but in a points league, I think he does work out relatively well as an option for us. All right. Big Swezzy looking to make his pick at number 101 overall. Remember, this is a standard Yahoo league, so it's only 13 rounds, and there's 2 centers. I suggest only ever having 1 center, and I also suggest doing 14 rounds, which I've done in some of my mocks. I didn't do it in this one, though. Evan Fournier goes to Big Swezzy. Fournier looked pretty solid, and it's a pretty solid pick. I've got Plumlee and PJ Washington as my next 2 on my list, so I'm just going to go and chuck them into my queue, because we're into the hundreds here. I just need to start getting the guys that I'm projecting at the right area. And I'm relatively happy with how my team's looking, especially considering that I did pick at number 11. Bogdanovic. Now, some of these guys that I got, like Barrett and Bagley, in a lot of leagues, you can probably let them fall another 2 or 3 rounds and really stock up on value. But I just wanted to sort of show you how I'm valuing them. There goes Tyler Hero.
Everyone has a hero.
True.
0 people shouldn't have a hero.
Yeah.
He goes at number 103, Tyler Hero. Is he a good points league player? He's an okay points league player. This is probably the right area. His ADP at 80 is probably a little bit too high for me, but I think he's fallen to the right spot here for us in this format. MSRF about to make his pick to get this cracking. We're getting through this one pretty quickly, which is good. And as I say that, MSRF lets the clock run down. The Iron Shoulder, Goran Dragic should be in the mix. Montrezl Harrell, Serge Ibaka, Alec Burks, the Italian cock.
Hands off my cock!
I wouldn't have picked Gallinari there. I just don't know what that role is going to be. I would have let him go for somebody else. Is he a 25-minute-a-night player, 28-minute-a-night? There's just too much uncertainty, plus his injury history obviously isn't great. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone. They've got plenty of other guys who I'd rather have taken ahead of the big cock fella over there. Danilo Gallinari, bang, goo, you are up. You have... Okay, I'm looking at positions here and go, well, Christian Wood, why is he listed as a power forward? Why is Nikola Jokic listed as a power forward? Why is PJ Washington listed as a small forward, who we just took, and that's who I wanted? Positions, and I know that this happened on Fantrax today as well, someone lost their shit, smoked a ton of meth, and just gave everyone positions all over the place. They gave Zach LaVine power forward. They gave, I think, Darius Bazley point guard. They gave... The positions were all over the shop. Maybe we shouldn't have positions. There's really no need for it. And even if we do have positions, can someone at least do them correctly? Like, why is PJ Washington a small forward? He's going to be a center and power forward this year. That's it. Brandon Clark's a small forward. Literally never going to play small forward. He's listed as small forward here, and he just went at that last selection to Crooklyn's finest at number 106. That would put me on the clock. Well, I was going to take Paul Washington Jr. He is gone. Do I take Mason Plumlee here, or do I let Plumlee fall? Nah, let's just do it. Let's just take Plummer at this spot, who's listed as a power forward. Of course, he's 100% a center. So I'll take Plumlee there with that selection. And then Davis Bertans goes to end round 9. All right, and then Norman Powell goes, I'm not in on Powell this year at all. He was terrible yesterday, just some bad shot selection. I just think there are too many guys ahead of him there. So it's back to my selection. I'm going to take Goran Dragic with this selection. And that will do it for my first 10 picks. Now, the other guys that I was considering around that area, Derrick Rose, Alec Berks, Montrezl Harrell, Serge Ibaka, the Wiki Chris Boucher, Killian Hayes. They're in my next little batch of guys. Nerlens Noel, much, much better in a categories league. I think he's getting close to being picked in a points league here, but he's a much better category league player. So I'm getting Dragic. I think that's pretty good value at 110 for him. Serge Ibaka goes at 111 to Crooklyn's finest. That's looking strong for you, Crooklyn. At the moment, my team is projecting at number 1, which I'm really happy about. I don't know who's in number 2 because the names have changed here. Let's have a look. Beanie Boys is the name I've got, but that's not how it's listed on this Yahoo draft room. So let's have a look which team that is. Oh, it's one of those teams up the top. It's McBuckets. That's Beanie Boys. So he's projected number 2 at the moment. After Ibaka, it is Nerlens Noel. I just mentioned Noel. I would have taken Harrell ahead of him. But he's not far off being in the right spot. Derrick Rose, strong from you, MSRF. He's going to have limited minutes, but he's going to have high usage. He's going to miss games. But at this point, I suppose you're pairing him with Danilo Gallinari and Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry and Blake Griffin. So let me rephrase that. MSRF, that is too many risks. That's too many to me. And again, like I said, maybe you're just hoping they all hit, but Kawhi is not going to hit. Griffin's not going to hit. Gallinari might, Rose maybe, but it's a lot of injury-prone players. Dennis Schroeder goes at number 114. This is, I believe, the right area for him. Can we talk about Taylor Horton Tucker? How good did he look for the Lakers the other day? I can't wait to see him again. He looked really, really good. Not that he's going to be a large rotation piece for him this season, but he looked really good. Absolutely someone I'm keen on for Dynasty Leagues. James Wiseman, Blunty. I was told a few weeks ago that Blunty would be the starting center for the Warriors. He's now contracted COVID, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that they're going to ease him in. They might play 3 center rotations. Maybe he starts at some point, but Looney's going to be the starter to begin the year. And it's going to be slow going for Wiseman, which is what I originally thought. I don't think he's very good. I think he's going to have a lot of defensive issues for a team that's trying to be competitive. But then I was told with confidence, hey, they want to start him and give him big minutes. I went, okay, that doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they're going to do. And then, of course, he got COVID, and that's going to place a real problem there. Killian Hayes. Like it. I thought Hayes looked pretty solid in his NBA debut. Alec Berks goes next as well. I can tell you now that McBuckets is definitely using the Basketball Monster projections. And I'm pretty sure I've been in drafts with him before, and he does the same thing. Just uses my projections so I know who he's going to pick most of the time. So he takes Alec Berks there. That's a strong one. Montrezl Harrell, Chris Boucher, they should be people. I think Sug might be using it as well. But he goes with Otto Porter, which is okay. I think Porter looked all right in his return to action for the Bulls in their first preseason game. I don't completely love it, but it's not bad. There goes the wiki, Chris Boucher at 119. And now we're waiting on Path, who's taken some questionable selections to me. Anunoby, Allen, and Bridges. Let's see, is there a chance that Path hasn't read the name of this league or the notes that I did with this league when I advertise it and doesn't know it's a points league? Or is he drafting off ADP? Not to shade you too much, Path, but that is a possibility. All right, so Montrezl Harrell goes at number 120, and that is the first 10 rounds gone. So that's a good pick there to get those guys. I think DeAndre Jordan should be looked at coming up soon. Ricky Rubio is a name in the mix here. I have no idea what the Timberwolves are going to do. They barely played Rubio in that preseason game. Malik Beasley, Anthony Edwards didn't look good, I didn't think. We had a Kogi starting. Jarrett Cole was in that mix. Terrence Ross goes here to Path. Now, Ross is dealing with a toe issue. He might not be ready for the beginning of the season, but this isn't a terrible pick. We're getting into Anthony Edwards' territories here. At 122, it's the pencil, Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. And is Barnes an okay pick here? Yeah, I think okay is a good way of putting it. Absolutely not exciting, but he's totally fine there. The big ragu, Dante DiVincenzo at 123. DiVincenzo much better in a category league, but this is the right area for him in a points league, so I do like that for the big ragu. All right, what else have we got? Who is going next? It is McBuckets. Let's see if I can pick who he's going to go with. DeAndre Jordan he's going to go with. No, Karis LeVert. He didn't go with just the top of the projections. So Karis LeVert was third on my remaining projections from here. So I've got Jordan. And the other one that's up the top here is Will Barton. Will Barton. I'm super worried about his knee. He's not practicing. He's not playing. He didn't play in the bubble. It's a vague, oh yeah, his knee's sore. No, is he healthy? Yeah, no worries. We're just being cautious. His knee's sore. Mate, this has been, when did he play? In March? That's the last time he played. I am a little bit worried about, not Rashawn. Well, Rashawn Holmes just went at 124. I'm a little bit worried about Will Barton and his knee. Would I take the risk with him coming up to my selection in round 11? Maybe. But I'm absolutely worried about what is going on with that knee. And the same as another guy that's coming up in terms of per game projections, Justice Winslow. What's wrong with this bloke's hip? Do we even know? Do we have any idea? No, he's just not ready. This dude just always is something wrong with him, and I'm not sure. In a best ball format, I'd probably take a flyer on Winslow, and if he plays, then he'll beat that number, but I just can't trust him at all. Ravishing Rick Rubio goes at 126. Now, if they play Rubio 30 minutes a night, he smashes this, but they might play him 18 minutes a night. Again, I think he's the best guard on that team. At 126, yes.
I don't want to hear any more about Obi-Wan.
Obi Toppin, listed as a small forward, definitely not a small forward. He put up some okay counting stats. Defensively, he struggled. He's going to be in the rotation. There's no doubt about that for the Knicks, but is it enough to warrant a pick at this point? I would suggest no. And there are other rookies I'd want ahead of him. I just don't buy. Watch him on the court. How weird is his body? His neck is non-existent. He's got this really long torso. His center of gravity is all over the shop, and that's what makes him a poor defender. No strength at all to back down as well. Okay, I'll stop shitting on him. Will Barton goes at 128. DeAndre Jordan goes at 129. I want Toppin to succeed. I just didn't like the draft pick, and I think the hype on him is a little bit too high. Joshie Richardson goes at number 130. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, it's my pick. I better make one here. You know what? What do we do? Let's take Lou Williams here. Yeah, Lou Williams. Just nothing too exciting. I'm going to go more upside with my next couple of picks. So let's take Lou Williams there. Absolutely not exciting at all. I think what I'll do with my next one is look at Anthony Edwards, who again suits a points league format much better than he does a category league. The Spur Dunk Robertson goes to round out round 11, and then followed by Terry Rozier at number 134. So it's back to my pick. This is the time for me to go with Anthony Edwards, so let's draft him. I ended up with Edwards in quite a few drafts because he's falling quite a bit. I don't like him. I don't like him as a player, and I'll happily drop him if he plays 20 minutes a night to start the season. But I think just taking that upside, maybe someone gets excited about him for a trade. But yeah, I think it's just looking at upside and the fact that he suits a points league format so much better, and that puts him in there. I've got one pick left now. Tyrese Halliburton goes to Crooklyn's finest, obviously going the upside route there. I think that Halliburton is a better category league player than a points league guy. Other guys we could be looking at here as rock solid type options: Tice, Hardaway, Millsap, Seth Curry. If you want to go upside, it's probably Lou Dort around this spot, and I need to take a breath, so that's about time to hit the music.
Bort? Oh, come on, Bort?
Mommy, buy me a license plate!
No, come along, Bort.
Are you talking to me?
No, my son is also named Bort.
I think he is, because you're not going to get hurt by his poor percentages. So he's an option, and I think Dinwiddie is a guy we look at here as well. Spencer Dinwiddie goes to Bangor at 136. Justice Winslow at 137. Just the injuries, that's the concern there, but I don't mind it as a flyer. You can draft him, chuck him into IR. And Vanilla Tice. It looks like Tristan Thompson will miss the opener. Tice will be the starter. He'll get good minutes. He'll produce well. Maybe it doesn't last, but that's fine. That's the right area for Daniel Tice, I believe. Spencer Dinwiddie's who I want. I don't think I'm going to get him, but I'm going to throw him into my queue anyway. That's who I am looking at here. Maybe I'll throw Malik Beasley into my queue also. Always like Darius Garland as a late pick as well. And by the way, how did Faku Campazzo look yesterday? Woo, boy, those passes, man. Taco Tuesday at 138 selects Darius Garland, my flyer that I always like going for. So he is gone. Might shift my face over on that video so it doesn't block the draft screen. There we go. After Garland, it's Big Swezzy. Can't Swez. Who are you going to go with here? We're almost finished this draft. You can smash our points leagues drafts pretty quickly in general. Smokin' Joe Harris goes at 140, followed by Aaron Baines, who is the starting center for the Raptors. Age, injury worries are the concern with Baines, but we saw him put up some real big numbers last year. Timmy Hardaway in for Sugg there at number 142. No upside, but absolutely good value to get him at that spot as well. And then the big fella, Lou Dort, goes to Z-Mark. Really like that one from you. Interesting that Dinwiddie still hasn't gone. Normally Dinwiddie would go in round 11, and I generally wouldn't be targeting him. But if he comes back to me with the second last pick of this draft, then yes, that is what I'll do. Tristan Thompson goes at 144. Thompson is okay in a points league, but he's going to miss the beginning of the season most likely, and there's zero upside. Not much upside in Path's picks. Let's see what he does with this next one, though. This is where you should be just taking flyers on guys. And if it's a Zubats is there, and that's fine. Now, Zubats looks like he's going to come off the bench. I think it's a terrible decision by Ty Lue, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. I think Jordan Clarkson's in the mix here as well. Delon Wright, this brings me to an interesting point. You know that I like Delon Wright, okay? I think they're going to limit him in Detroit. They started him that first preseason game. It didn't work. Svi Mikhailuk is a significantly better fit in that starting group and looked pretty good. I think even if it doesn't happen at the beginning of the season, Delon's going to move to that bench and his minutes are going to drop and Svi's going to take that role. That's my worry. After Delon, it's Seth Curry and then it's Alexei Pokusevski. Yeah, the big fella. That's taking a flyer. Will Pokusevski start? Probably not. But could they also go with Shea, Dort, Basley, Poku, and Al Horford? They could. At some point, it's worth having a crack because he was putting up some numbers. He looked out of sorts at times, but still put up some numbers, was banging threes. He is a 7-foot point guard. That's what he is. He's not a big man, but he's a point guard that blocks shots because he's 7 foot tall. So it's an interesting upside pick there for Alexei Pokusevski. Paul Millsap is the top of my list at the moment, but who's excited about Paul Millsap here? I've got Jordan Clarkson. I'll tell you who I might crack onto. Isaac Okoro. Well, there goes Jordan Clarkson, so I can't get him. Okoro scored 16 points in a quarter. I think he's going to start at small forward at some point. Whether that's immediately or not, I'm not sure. But the other guys that are projected ahead of him, I just don't love it. Finney Smith, Jay Crowder, and Dinwiddie's still on. Eric Gordon, maybe it's Eric Gordon that I throw in there, who could see his role increase if James Harden is gone. Malik Beasley, Derek Jones Jr., who looked pretty good in his first game for the Blazers. So Jordan Clarkson goes there. We're up to Taco Tuesday for his last selection. And that is Malik Beasley goes off, who looked okay. Rui Hachimura at 151. Yeah, Rui is fine in a points league as well. I still don't particularly like him as a player. Probably better in a points league than a categories league, though. MSRF looking to make his last selection. Paul Millsap, absolutely no upside in that pick, but he's still going to be productive. And I suppose you've got Justice Winslow as your upside pick the round before. You slide Winslow to IR, then you can add a flyer off the waiver wire. So no worries with that at all. A lot of people looking at Jeff Teague to begin the season. I don't think he's going to start for Boston. I think Grant Williams is going to be that guy, so if you want to take a flyer on Grant, no worries. Dylan Brooksy Brooks goes, then Miles Bridges goes, and then I am going to end up with Spencer Dinwiddie somehow. So let's take Spencer Dinwiddie. So I don't think that's going to happen in most drafts, but happy to get Spencer at that pick. And then we're looking at the last one, and that is the aforementioned Jeff Teague.
My name is Jeff.
Who, again, I just don't think is going to start for this Celtics team. All right, time to bring up the projected standings and have a look how all these teams played this draft out. All right, so let's have a look at how my team ended up. My squad was Joel Embiid, Russell Westbrook, Domantas Sabonis, D'Angelo Russell, Malcolm Brogdon, Kobe White, Marvin Bagley, Mason Plumlee, RJ Barrett, Goran Dragic, Lou Williams, Anthony Edwards, Spencer Dinwiddie. So you can see some real points league specialists there in Bagley and Barrett and Plumlee, really. Sabonis is a better points league player as well, so I got him. Anthony Edwards is a better points league player too, so I got him onto the squad. And that's my squad. And if we have a look at how the projected standings play out, you'll see me there at the top, and then Beanie Boy, Z-Mark, Sug, Pickled Ricks, I don't know what that team was, name TBD, Crooklyn's Finest, MSRF, Path, Aiden, McGen, and Taco Tuesday. down the bottom. That'll do it for this Points League mock draft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, share it with your league, share it with your friends, share it on social media, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts as well, and don't forget to check out the Locked On Podcast Network. We have got our NBA preview running on Locked On NBA. Fantastic stuff over there. Go and check that out, guys. We are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.